morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Did you guess it? Did you guess where that photo of the day was taken? The photo of the day was taken at the Buko Beach, is what I'm being told, and I hope that you guessed it right. It's quite easy to figure it out. If you look there, you will see the shoreline there right along the Buko Beach. So that's where the photo of the day is taken from today, and we must give credit to the person who submitted that photo today. Let me get that correct pronunciation of that name for you. It is Rashid Zaire of Caribbean Photographers submitting that photo this morning. We continue conversations this morning. In studio, we still have with us Mr. Anslem Richards. He's the Chief Technical Advisor to the Tobago House of Assembly and former TTPS member. We switch gears a little bit this morning, and as you are aware, screening process is taking place for the TPP as they prepare for the general elections. So screening for East and West Tobago candidates, nominees rather, have put themselves forward for screening to be the selected candidate for the general election. And Mr. Richards, you are among the men, the great men who have presented themselves for nomination. So, talk us through the process. What was the decision like in terms of, hey, let me put myself forward for office?
Well, for those of you, for Tobago, my politics is no secret to Tobago and Tobagonian. I've been in the political space for over 25 years. My advocacy is known from the east to the west to the north to the south, not only on the island of Tobago, but probably regionally. I choose every opportunity to ensure that Tobago's rights and entitlement are protected, promoted, and defended. I do that without fear of contradiction, without fear of saying that I'm a Tobagonian. That has been my motto. That is actually my DNA. I'm not afraid. I fiercely defend Tobago anywhere I go. And Tobago's right. I take on ministers, I take on anybody when it comes to Tobago. So looking at the decision to really happen earlier last year around the budget time, when the budget was being debated in the National Parliament, and having worked centrally in the preparation of the Tobago budget and estimates, and I recognize that the conversation in the National Parliament was not really reflecting the issues, the intimate issues that are affecting our development and are presenting significant challenges for us in Tobago to advance the lives of Tobagonians. I think we required a more deliberate type of representation in the Parliament. The Chief Secretary will tell you, I tell him, I say, get me a temporary appointment in the Senate. Let me go and tell the Tobago story.
With the confidence, the confidence you have is just absolutely amazing. And, talking about the confidence, what do you think? There are other persons in your party who have presented themselves as well. What gives you that push, the notch above the rest? Well, what makes you feel as if, I feel I'm the best man for this race?
Well, I will leave you to be the judge of that. My history, I think everybody...
I can't be the judge. You have to tell me.
But I think my work and my politics precedes me. I don't think I have to sell myself as a politician. I have been doing that for the last 25 years. Or a person who is capable of really presenting true representation for Tobago. I have been in the forefront of most of the development challenges that Tobago is facing, from the internal self-government movements to development policy, writing development plans, working closely with the executive of the THA, both under the Over London administration and this administration. I don't know if you know, I was head of the PRDI. So my intimacy with the issues is unparalleled. It's unparalleled. I live this every day. This has been my work for the last 25 years.
And going in there, I know you mentioned the budget and the representation of Tobago in the Senate and the House. What is the primary thing, your primary focus, if you are successful? What is that primary thing that you want to ensure you attend to for the people of Tobago, should you be successful?
Well, the critical issue that is facing Tobago is really our right to self-determination. We cannot really change the Tobago landscape without having the authority to determine what happens in our space. The current constitutional construct denies Tobago that opportunity to redefine the space and to develop the space the way we wanted. The Chief Secretary would have established, and the party, the TPP, would have established a very ambitious ambition for Tobago, that to make Tobago the greatest little island on the planet. That has to give us some legislative authority to shift some of the things that we are doing. Currently, if we want to regulate the small boat sector in Tobago, jet skis and things, we can't make no law to do that. You can't change the country. If you want to change culture, you change culture through the legislative framework, through law. So you can bring up a new behavior and you can take down one legally, and you change people's behavior. That's the institutional lever. You have to change culture in a short thing. If you allow culture to be changed organically, it takes a long time because people are comfortable in traditional behavior and all of that. But if you want to make radical shift to how we function in Tobago, you have to have legislative authority. And if you recall, when there was the little spat between the chief secretary and the prime minister, he said they can't make law in Tobago. So we know that the fundamental problem that is affecting us in Tobago, in order for us to develop this space and transform the lives of Tobagonians, is our authority to make laws.
So, Mr. Richards, you just spoke about the authority to make laws in Tobago. And we know that Tobago only has 2 seats. Let's just say, hypothetically, the TPP wins the both seats. What real power do you think you would have in the parliament to bring about that legislative power and authority that you want the THA to have?
Right. So if you understand the political construct of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, there are 41 seats. The margin in Trinidad is very close. The current central government is in office because of the Tobago seat. The minute the TPP, the Tobago People's Party, captures those seats, I think we hold the balance of power. We can determine who forms the central government in Trinidad. That gives us significant leverage in terms of who we support and how we support that party in Trinidad, and what are the negotiating points for that engagement, for that partnership, or for that arrangement to put that party in government.
But Mr. Richards, we've seen that arrangement take place twice before, once in 1995 and once in 2010, and we still didn't get the kind of legislative authority that we wanted. The arrangement didn't go in the way that we expected.
Are you married?
I used to be.
No,
but
right.
the point is this.
And because you used to be.
No,
I want to make a point before we move on.
Let me finish before you think, right? So what now? What about 2025 would make it different? Negotiating your 2 seats to have some sort of authority.
Life is not static. And the point I wanted to make with you when I asked you if you were married is that because persons are divorced and marriage has failed, will you not marry again? Will you not love again?
Yes, I would.
Right. So the point I'm making is that, yes, history records and informs, but history does not determine the future. You have an opportunity now to construct an arrangement based on negotiation that gives you the opportunity to effect the kind of legislative transformation that is required to move this island. You cannot say because you have failed 2 times, 3 times, we ain't going to do it, and you stand up with your hands in the air. You have the life of a people in your hands, and you have to take all the necessary and required action to ensure that you get the kind of levers that you need to transform and improve the lives of the big one. And you cannot stand still on the history that has failed before.
So what is the different strategy going forward?
It is a new party that have never engaged in something like that. New representative, new vision, a new system of engagement in the parliament. A new system. You have to go into the parliament, turn on the Tobago light, create the Tobago system, that the Tobago representative become the green olive tree. The green olive tree in the parliament, so that the issues that are affecting the development of Tobago can be illuminated by the presence and the quality and the standard of representation. So the nation and the world will come along with you and you shift the whole dynamics.
So we have an idea about your stance in terms of what you're going to do in parliament to empower the Tobago House of Assembly. But I want to hear from your perspective, what are your plans to empower your constituents in that area should you be selected?
Well, that's the foundation of development. Development is about the people. Development, for me, is about the people. And if you are representing people, you have to mobilize them, you have to organize them, and you have to arm them with the resources in terms of knowledge capital to understand their role and responsibility in the development process, their rights and entitlement as communities in terms of they taking responsibility for the management of their communities. You ever hear about social capital? Long time we have, why the country is in the state it is. Long time when you were growing up, I don't know how old are you, but I know that there was a thing called social control in the community. Where you take a village to raise a child. You could not do something wrong, because there was that social pull against you doing something wrong that keep you in line. We have to bring back our communities together, build the social capital, build cohesiveness, empower people. Development is about people, you know. Development is not about building roads and bridges. Those are necessary. Those will come along. But the sustainable factor, the sustainable component of development is your human capacity, your human capability, and your institutions. So you have to develop those things, social institution at the community level, because there's a need for community to manage some aspect of the activity in their spaces. So if you don't do that, you will build all the bridges, and we'll build all the community centers, and the people remain the same.
Mr. Richards, of course, having conversation with you is so engaging, and we wish we had more time to continue this morning. But
I have time, I don't know what you have.
Airtime is paid for. So let us.
I could pay, what's it?
Mr. Richards,
let me talk to Tobagonians.
Let me tell you.
How much it will cost for me to stay for the rest of the program?
Let me tell you all the best in your screening, and we wait for the results to see who is selected to represent the TPP there for both Tobago East and Tobago West in our general elections. We do hope that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful season, and you continue to advocate for Tobago in the way that you didn't have to market, but you ended up marketing anyway on air this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break, but before we go, here's a photo of back in the day in Tobago. Can you figure out where this photo was taken back in the day? I'm trying to remember the period in which this photo was taken, but if you know anything about Tobago, you should be able to identify where this is. And when we come back from the break, of course, you can drop your responses in our Facebook live stream comments. I see the guests on set here trying to guess where it is, and that's fine. You can go ahead and try to guess. In the meantime, viewers, you can drop your responses on our Facebook live stream. But we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio, and we do hope that you could stay with us as we do continue these conversations. But in the meantime, can you help us to share the live, share the live, share the live? We'll be right back.